She texted, "I need space to find myself." After 5 years together, I replied, "Take all you need." When she found herself homeless after I sold the house, she didn't know I owned a loan. Space became abundant. I, 29 male, got a text from my girlfriend, Natalie, 27, 3 weeks ago. That basically nuked my entire world. We'd been together 5 years, living in what she thought was our rental house for the last 3. The text came while I was at work on a Tuesday. "Connor, I need space to find myself. This isn't about you. It's about me discovering who I really am outside of this relationship. I'm staying with Brianna for a while. Please don't contact me. 5 years. 5. And she ends it with a text. Not even the decency of a phone call. Here's what Natalie didn't know. The house we lived in, I bought it 4 years ago, when my grandmother passed, and left me enough for a down payment. I never told Natalie, because early in our relationship, she made several comments about how she could never be with someone who flaunted wealth, and how she valued authentic connections over material things. So, I kept it simple. Told her I found a great rental deal through a family friend. She paid me $600 monthly for her half of rent, which I put straight toward the mortgage. After getting her text, I sat in my car for an hour just processing. Then I went home to find exactly what I expected. She'd taken all her stuff while I was at work. Her closet empty, her bathroom stuff gone. Even took the damn coffee maker she bought us last Christmas. Left her key on the kitchen counter, though. How thoughtful. I texted back, "Take all the space you need." Then I did what any reasonable person would do. I called my real estate agent buddy Trevor. See, I'd been thinking about selling anyway. The neighborhood had gentrified like crazy, and houses were selling for 70% more than what I paid. Trevor came by that evening. We ran the numbers, and holy. Even after capital gains and realtor fees, I'd clear about $140K profit. How fast can we move? I asked. Market's hot. Price it right. Could have offers in days, but don't you need to give your girlfriend notice or ex-girlfriend, and she moved out today? Trevor just nodded. We listed it Thursday. Here's where it gets interesting. Natalie had been posting all over Instagram about her journey of self-discovery and brave decision to prioritize her authentic self. Lots of sunset photos with inspirational quotes. Her friends were eating it up, commenting, "Yes, Queen, and so proud of you for choosing yourself." Meanwhile, I was scheduling viewings. Got 4 offers by Sunday. Accepted one for $15K over asking, closing in 30 days. I found a decent 1-bedroom apartment closer to work. Put down a deposit and started packing. That's when Brianna, Natalie's best friend who she's staying with, texted me, "Hey, Connor. Nat wanted me to ask if you guys are paid up through next month on rent. She needs to know for budgeting." I replied, "The house situation is handled. She doesn't need to worry about it." 20 minutes later, my phone exploded. Natalie calling. I didn't answer. Then Brianna calling. Ignored. Then the text started rolling in. "Natalie, what do you mean the house situation is handled? Connor, please answer. I know I said I needed space, but this is about logistics." "Connor," I finally replied, "you asked for space and no contact. I'm respecting your wishes. The house situation doesn't concern you anymore." She tried calling 14 more times that night. I turned off my phone and went to see a movie. Update 1. Escalated fast. Natalie showed up at my work yesterday. Ambushed me in the parking lot as I was leaving for lunch. Brianna was with her sitting in the driver's seat of her car like a getaway driver. "We need to talk," Natalie said. She looked rough. Hair in a messy bun, bags under her eyes, wearing the same college sweatshirt she'd had since we met. "You asked for no contact," I said, keeping walking toward my car. "That was about emotional stuff. This is about where we live." I stopped. "Where we live?" "You moved out, remember? You're living your authentic life with Brianna now." I was taking temporary space. I was always planning to come back once I figured things out. "You can't just what did you do with our house?" "There is no our house, Natalie. You ended our relationship via text. You moved out. You have no house." Her face went white. "What about my stuff? My furniture? You took all your stuff when you left." "What furniture? The couch I bought. The bed I bought. The TV I bought." See, Natalie had this habit of saying we bought things, when really I bought them. She'd contribute like $20 toward a $800 couch and call it ours. I never corrected her because, well, I thought we were building a life together. You can't just kick me out. I have rights. I've been paying rent for 3 years, and you got to live in a nice house for 3 years. That rental agreement ended when you ended our relationship and moved out. Brianna got out of the car at this point. This is financial abuse. You're leaving her homeless. She left herself homeless when she chose to move out. I'm not her landlord. I was her boyfriend. She ended that. She made adult choices. These are adult consequences. I got in my car and left. They followed me for like 3 blocks before giving up. That night, the social media campaign started. Natalie posted this long thing about how I was financially manipulating her and using housing as a weapon. Her friends were going off in the comments. Someone even found my LinkedIn and started messaging my CO workers about what a piece of... I didn't respond. Call my lawyer friend for advice. He laughed his ass off when I told him the story and said, "Dude, she has 0 legal standing. She was essentially a month-to-month tenant who voluntarily vacated." "You're golden." Then Natalie's mom called me. We'd always gotten along well, so I actually answered. "Connor, honey, what's going on?" "Natalie is hysterical. She says you're selling her home." "Hi, Mrs. Rodriguez. Natalie ended our relationship and moved out. I'm moving forward with my life. But where will she live?" "That's something she should have considered before ending a 5-year relationship over text message." Long pause. "She did what?" "Yeah." Natalie hadn't told her mom the full story. I forwarded her the screenshot of the breakup text. She was quiet for a moment, then said, "I'll talk to her." Update 2. The entitlement has reached astronomical levels. So, the house closed yesterday. Smooth as butter. Check deposited. I'm officially moved into my new apartment. It's smaller, but honestly, it feels like freedom. No memories of Natalie in every corner. But let me back up to what happened this week. First, Natalie tried the sympathy route. She had her sister Veronica text me this sobbed story about how Natalie was processing trauma and deserved housing stability during her healing journey. I didn't respond. Then came the threats. Brianna's boyfriend, some wannabe tough guy named Dominic, called me talking about how real men don't do this to women and how I needed to make this right. I asked if he was threatening me. He backpedaled real quick, recorded the whole call just in case. But the best part, Natalie tried to break into the house. Yeah, you read that right. I was there doing final cleaning before closing, when I heard someone at the front door lock, turning, door opening. Natalie walked in with a locksmith behind her. "What the hell are you doing?" I asked. "I live here. I lost my key and needed the locks changed." The locksmith looked confused. I showed him my driver's license with a different address, my new apartment, and the closing documents showing the house was sold. "Ma'am, I can't change locks on a property you don't own," he said. "I've lived here 3 years. Check the records." "That's not how property ownership works," the locksmith said, already backing toward the door. Natalie lost it. Full meltdown, screaming about how I stole her home, how she'd paid thousands in rent, how I was a manipulative bastard. The locksmith bounced. I started recording on my phone. "You need to leave. Natalie, you're trespassing. This is my home." "No, it was the house you rented a room in from your ex-boyfriend. You ended the relationship. You moved out. This conversation is over." She actually sat down on the floor like a toddler. "I'm not leaving." I called the cops, told them my ex-girlfriend was trespassing in a house I just sold and refusing to leave. They arrived in 10 minutes. Natalie tried to tell them she was a tenant, but when they asked for proof, lease, mail, anything, she had nothing. All her mail had been going to Brianna's for weeks because she'd officially changed her address when she moved out. You know, during her journey of self-discovery, the cops made her leave. She was screaming threats about suing me, calling me every name in the book. The female officer pulled me aside and said, "You might want to consider a restraining order." That night, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "This is Brianna's mom. I know you don't know me, but I need you to know that Brianna can't support Natalie much longer. She needs to find a place ASAP. Could you at least help her with a deposit somewhere?" The audacity. I didn't reply. Then came the real kicker. Natalie made a GoFundMe. Help me escape financial abuse with this whole fictional story about how her ex locked her out of her home with no warning. How she'd been gaslit into believing the house was a rental. And how she was now homeless because of my narcissistic manipulation. She raised $300 before someone who knows me reported it with screenshots of her finding herself posts showing she voluntarily left. GoFundMe shut it down. Update 3. So Natalie's dad reached out. Mr. Rodriguez was always a straight shooter, so I took his call. "Connor, I'm not calling to yell at you. I want to understand what happened." I sent him everything. The breakup text, her Instagram posts about leaving to find herself, the timeline of when she moved out versus when I listed the house. All of it. He was quiet for a long time. Then she told us you kicked her out for another woman. What? No, she ended things and moved out. I'm not even dating anyone. Jesus Christ. This girl, Connor, I'm sorry. We raised her better than this, or thought we did. He told me they'd offered to let her move home, but she refused because her childhood bedroom was toxic to her growth or some. She wanted them to pay for an apartment instead. They said no. My LinkedIn was getting bombed by fake profiles calling me an abuser. I had to make it private. 2 of Natalie's friends showed up at my new building looking for my apartment number, but the doorman wouldn't let them up. Thank God for building security. Then, got real stupid. Natalie tried to claim we were common law married. She actually went to a lawyer. This lawyer then contacted me talking about division of assets and spousal support. I forwarded everything to my lawyer friend, who literally laughed so hard he choked on his coffee. Our state doesn't even recognize common law marriage, but even if it did, we didn't meet any of the requirements. We never filed taxes together, never had joint accounts, never presented ourselves as married. She was grasping at straws. My lawyer sent back a cease and desist letter and threatened to countersue for harassment. Their lawyer dropped her as a client. That's when Natalie played her final card. She claimed she was pregnant. Text message at 2 a.m. Connor, I'm pregnant. We need to talk about our future. Funny thing about that, I had a vasectomy 2 years ago. Never told her because I was planning to reverse it when we were ready for kids. But after her little finding herself adventure, I was real glad I had it done, I replied. Interesting since I'm sterile. Congratulations on the miracle affair. Either way, not my problem. Radio silence for 3 days. Then she admitted she wasn't pregnant. She was just desperate and made a mistake. Brianna kicked her out after that. Apparently, even she has limits. Final update. It's been 2 months now since Natalie texted me about needing space. Figured I'd give you all one last update. Natalie ended up moving back with her parents. From what I hear, through the grapevine, she's working at her mom's dental office as a receptionist and absolutely hating it. Her Instagram went from self-discovery journey posts to completely dead. Her last post was 6 weeks ago, a quote about learning from life's challenges. The comments were not supportive. Her friend group basically imploded. After the pregnancy lie came out, even her ride-or-die friends started distancing themselves. Brianna actually reached out to apologize to me for her part and everything, said she didn't know about the house ownership thing, and felt used by Natalie. I told her, no hard feelings, but please lose my number. The best part, remember that $600 a month she was paying me for rent? I had every single payment in a separate savings account, was planning to use it for our wedding someday. Instead, I donated it all to a local homeless shelter. Posted the receipt on Instagram with the caption, supporting people who actually need housing assistance. Petty maybe, satisfying, absolutely. My new apartment is great. Closer to work, modern amenities, and zero memories of someone who threw away 5 years over a quarter-life crisis. Started dating a woman from my gym last week. She actually sends good morning texts instead of manifesto about finding herself. Natalie tried reaching out one more time last week. Long email about how she learned and grew from the experience, and how she hopes we can be friends someday. Also mentioned she was struggling financially, and how karma had come full circle. I didn't reply, but I did forward it to her dad with a note. You might want to talk to her about taking accountability. He replied, we're working on it. Sorry again for everything, Connor. For everyone asking if I feel bad. No, not even a little. She wanted space to find herself. She got all the space in the world. She wanted to discover who she was outside our relationship. Turns out she's a manipulative, entitled person who thought she could have her cake and eat it too. Plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes. She played herself right out of a home, a relationship, and a future. And the only person she can blame is the one she sees in the mirror during her self-discovery journey. I'm done with this chapter. New apartment, new chapter, new life, and it's pretty. Fantastic. Thanks for following along with this insanity, Reddit. Remember, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when they text you that they need space, give them exactly what they asked for. Lessons learned from the story. Actions have consequences. Abruptly ending a long relationship without consideration, like Natalie's text breakup, can backfire when realities like housing and finances come into play. Entitlement breeds downfall. Assuming privileges without ownership or effort, as Natalie did with the house and possessions, exposes manipulative behavior and erodes support from others. Honesty builds strength. Keeping secrets for good reasons, like Connor's house ownership, can protect you, but revealing truths at the right time prevents enabling deceit. Self-discovery requires accountability. Claiming a journey to justify selfish choices often leads to isolation when lies unravel, teaching the value of genuine reflection over excuses. Moral of the story: requests for space may reveal true intentions. Entitlement without accountability leads to self-inflicted ruin,